I think when I read the script, I hadn't come across the character. I said this to Joel the other day, I hadn't played or read a character where I had more than 2 lines of dialogue strung together. So that was kind of new. We had this whole scene in Washington Square Park where I was ranting away and it was this whole paragraph, and I thought, I can't remember the last time I had more than a couple of lines, you know, and then like tears and crying and kissing or something. She's just, she's sort of the anti to every character I've played over the last couple of years, and so I just loved you know, how witty she was and how unkind she was and brutal, and yeah, the writing was so brilliant. She has a real romanticism about their lives, you know, this group of musicians together, and I think she has more faith in him than pretty much anyone, so she really thinks that he can make it. And so I think she's sort of upset, you know, she's the most upset at the end when he walks away from the whole thing, because she believes that this group of people can all get somewhere together. And I think she's just constantly annoyed at his inability to sort of reach his potential, or, you know, just his sort of bumbling attitude and his mistakes and his sort of laziness in how he treats people is just irritating to her, because I think she sort of wishes that she could change every single thing about him and make him better. I don't ever really tend to study the picture as a whole. Like I always walk into things based on a couple of factors, and it's usually directors and, you know, and the character, and obviously the people I got to work with are amazing, but, you know, the opportunity to work in a Coen brothers film, you know, comes along once, or 5 times if you're John Goodman, but, you know, once if you're just a regular, normal, lucky person. So that was, you know, I just wanted to be in one of their visions, and I didn't really study what it was going to be, and I can't really imagine it, and I never watch the monitor, and I want to be sort of surprised, but it's the coolest job I've ever had. I love it. I love working in New York. Yeah, I would, if I could do films nowhere else, it would be, I just love it here. Yeah, and the streets, you know, it was so great filming in the Village and filming in Washington Square Park, and you know, all of not having to recreate anything. It was just, yeah, wonderful. I think, you know, the music in this film is a huge part of it. I think it's going to be, aside from the film, going to be one of those soundtracks that, you know, stays in people's lives forever, like Oh Brother. You know, that's the soundtrack that me and my friends have as one of our, you know, it's like inspirational and influential to all of us, and especially my musician friends. So I think, you know, that music side of it's going to be one side, and then their film, I can't even, it's impossible to describe. It's just like this little, you know, it's not big and it's not really, there's no sort of, you know, it's just this sort of wandering tale of a really sort of empathetic, like kind of delicious character